back to Lex Reads. So in today's video, we are doing my May wrap up of everything I read, watched, and listened to. And this month, oh my goodness. Okay. So you guys remember that video I did where I said I was managing my TBR and I had read part 3 and 4 of Anna Karenina, read my J. California Cooper book, and also read my American Daughter book by Parker Hughley. And American Daughters, yeah, by Parker Hughley. Girl, I managed to finish part 3 and 4 of Anna Karenina, and I'm in the process of editing that vlog so you guys can see my whole thoughts, because this one was, girl, we got some tea and drama. And then I did finish one book. The other book I didn't finish, and we're about to talk about it. But I was, you know what, I wasn't mad at myself because I did at least do half of my May goals, and I came very, very, very close. But my reading got interrupted because of me, because I picked something up on a whim and was engrossed the whole month. So yeah, it was a quick backstory, so let's just get started. I did read for my May goals I did finish my J. California Cooper books, Some Soul to Keep, and this was a collection of short stories. Now, you know what? This one wasn't my favorite, and that's shocker, okay, for me when it comes to J. California Cooper, because her books are just A1, okay? I would say with this one, it kind of felt a little bit monotonous, because it was like same story but just different characters, where, you know, usually it's a young black girl, she's poor, parents end up dying, and then she got a hard time, she comes out of it. That's all the stories were like that, every single one. And it was like, okay, if the parents didn't die, at least one of them died, or they just like vanished. But no, every story, a mama or a daddy died. And I think that's why it took me forever to read this. I read this May 31st. I was determined. I said, no, Alexis, you got to sit down and read this book. And I put a timer on for about 2 hours and finished the book. But it was almost a chore because, yeah, it just wasn't my favorite. But I am going to pick up next. I have to pick up a novel by her, because only stories I have read has been short stories. And right here is my little collection of hers. And yeah, I think I was at first reading Family, which is this one. This is a really short one. And I actually did tab some of it, but I don't even remember this. So this is a slavery themed book. Yeah, I think, yeah, it's a slavery themed book. So I think I might pick that one up next. But yeah, this one was kind of disappointing. But the writing's fantastic, but the stories are just the same. Okay, and then the next thing I read, y'all, was the Bridgerton series. Now, was not planning on reading this at all. Not planning on reading this. I was at my sister's house. We started watching it, and I was slightly getting into it. And so when I left, I resumed the episodes that we were watching, and I kept on texting her, telling her, okay, I like this character, don't like this character, I like the storyline, you know, all of it. So then after that, I said, you know what, I want to read the books, because I want to get down into the nitty gritty. You know, obviously with the series, they're not gonna, you know, tell everything, and with this series, they didn't. And clearly the series is not over. But 8 books, there are 8 children, so I believe they are going to do every sibling. So yeah, now I would say the first book was, no. How I read all of these is I listened to them while reading them, because I really think if I would have just read these, I probably would have DNF'd them, like physically read them as opposed to listening to them and reading them. No, ma'am. Because this one, although this is the first one, this is Daphne's story, I don't think you would, in my opinion, I don't think that after you read this, you would be like, oh, I want to read the next story. No. I just was so invested where I wanted to see some of the other character story. Like, I really wanted to see how Penelope's story was going to, you know, end. And yeah. So I was like, well, okay, got it. Because Daphne, she's not my favorite. The one I liked was this one, This is an officer from a gentleman. This is Benedict's story, which my favorite Bridgerton sibling probably is Benedict. I really like Benedict. I even like him in a series. And this one I like because it was a Cinderella retelling. And I actually do like Cinderella retellings. I know they can be, they do them so much, but I like Cinderella. I like, the retellings because you already know it's going to be a happy ending, okay? But I like this one a lot. And this one has some tea because the main girl, Sophie, she was like an illegitimate child to an earl, and girl, it was so good. And then I would say I did like Colin and Penelope's story, and I love this cover. Theirs was good. And then I would say the last one I liked was when he was wicked. This is Francesca's story. I think now they're doing her story, and this one was really good. It was sad because it deals with a miscarriage, death, but it has a happy ending because, again, these are romances, so you already know, like in the beginning, you already know the person's going to end up with the person. You just want to see, like, look, their trials. I really did like this one. My least favorite was this one, y'all. On the Way to the Wedding. This was Gregory's story. This was the last one. Oh, this was a bore. I'm so glad I had the audio for this because oh girl, it was not good at all. And I was like, okay, Lex, it would be stupid for you to listen to 7 books and then don't finish the 8th one. So just suck it up. So I did, and oh yeah. I didn't like this one at all. It just was a bore. But yeah, overall, I would give this series, I would give it a 3. I would say it's better to listen to them in order to read them. The only one I did read was this one because it was free through 1 through 6, and then the 7th book you had to pay for it, and then the 8th book was free. I have, again, that Amazon connected to the Audible. Like, I pay like $7 a month for it, and yeah, I still can't get over that. That was the dumbest thing. But again, I think if I wouldn't have had that audio, I probably wouldn't have finished these, if I'm being honest. But so that's it for reading. I was thinking back in 2022, I also read a series in May. I'm like, what is this thing about me reading series in May when I read my Ethic series? But that was like off the chain. That was a 20, okay? But it was so crazy when I was looking back. I was like, wait, I read a series back in May. That's it for the books. Now for music. Surprisingly, in the month of May, I did not buy any records, any vinyls, but I made up for it yesterday. But I would say the 2 songs I kept on rotation was so random. I'm Alive by Celine Dion. I had not listened to that in years, and I do think I'm going to get her music on vinyl because I do like Celine Dion, so love her voice. But that was on rotation. And then the second song that was on rotation was Ricky Dillard, All of My Help. Ricky Dillard, he's a gospel singer, and that choir just kills it. I'll put the video down below. Oh my gosh. I was up every single time I got my car played that. I was up in there jamming, okay? You thought I was jamming to, look, R&B music or rap music. I was jamming to gospel music, okay? But those are like the 2 songs I was listening to heavy. I do believe on my playlist, it's public, so you can see the songs that I do save. I will just put my playlist on I'll just put that playlist on and just, drive to it. I believe I have a regular playlist, music playlist, and then I have a gospel playlist too. So I usually like to have that playlist when I'm riding my aunt around, even though she don't complain about my music, but I don't want no DMX playing while she in there. Lastly, movies. Only thing that I watched was Bridgerton. I watched the 1st season, the 2nd season, and the beginning of the 3rd season. I would say so far, I like the 3rd season because, again, I do like Penelope. She's one of my favorite. And Colin, okay. I was going to wait until the 13th to watch, their story because it'll be all at once, but I just couldn't hold off because I had finished their story, and I was like, okay, since I finished, their story, let me just watch it. And yeah, so far I really liked it. The 2nd season was a bore. Oh girl, it took forever. It looked like it took forever, them 8 episodes. And I like Kate, Yeah, I did like her in the book, and she okay in the series. I just like that actress because I think, what's her name, Simone Ashley. She is so pretty. Oh, she is so pretty. But uh, and Anthony or whatever, I like him better in the book than in the series. But that story, it just dragged on. So in the first season is all right. I Daphne's not my favorite, but after I watched Bridgerton, I said, you know what? I want to watch Queen Charlotte, because when I was at my sister's house, she said Violet, which is Violet Bridgerton, and Lady Danbury, they have like a she said, I like their connection. And at first I was thinking, I'm like, are they related? And she said, no, you got to watch it. And I realized what she was talking about. Like I told you guys earlier, Benedict is my favorite Bridgerton. My favorite other character from the series is Lady Danbury. I love her in the series better than the book, because no shade. In the book, she an old white lady that thinks she knows stuff. In the series, she's an older black lady that does know stuff. So love that, and I loved her backstory. Look, they need to do a prequel to her. Okay, I would like to see more of her story. We know about her marriage and a little bit about the kids, and a tiny bit about like her upbringing, just a tiny bit. But I wish they would do a story on Lady Danbury, because loved her, and I love that actress. So she was my favorite, but I love that connection. Oh, that connection to her and Violet. So good. And I really did enjoy Queen Charlotte. I remember I tried to watch it when it first came out. And again, I was like, yeah, no. But I said, let me watch it, because again, there's some characters from Bridgerton like Violet. Then I started really looking up King George and his mental state, because clearly he had disabilities. They said bipolar, and I was reading some and I was researching him. They said the last of his life was horrible. Blind, he couldn't see. They said he talked straight for 48 hours before he died, nonstop, not and just talking, just saying stuff, and that means he didn't sleep, he didn't eat, he didn't do nothing. They said he just did that, and then he died. She died before him, and they said he probably didn't even know that she had died, because his mind was just so messed up. And you saw in the series, as you guys watched it, those methods that they were trying to do to, oh, and I also read, they said those methods that you saw in the series wasn't half of the stuff that they did to him to try to cure him. So poor baby went through it, okay? And back in those days, they didn't know any of that. I mean, torturing somebody to think that they're gonna be sane. Yeah, they didn't know. I also was looking up, Queen Charlotte, and then realized that, Queen Victoria, that, is her, what? Is it great grandmother or whatever? Of course, towards the end, she was like, oh, I hope it's a girl. And I'm like, wait, no, that's not Queen Victoria. And then when I looked it up, I was like, oh yeah, okay, Queen Victoria. That last clip of the 8th episode, I got teary-eyed, because poor thing, because you saw him as a younger man, then you saw him as an older man, and that mind, but she knew how to work with them. I still find myself going back and, watching episodes of that series. I mean, Shonda Rhimes can write. She can write. I'm a fan of Shonda Rhimes. I remember when Private Practice was on, really liked that series. Never really watched Grey's Anatomy. I think I might watch that. Shockingly, y'all, haven't watched Scandal. And I know they say Scandal's off the chain. And I'm a fan of Kerry Washington. So, I do think I want to watch, what is the other one? What's the one with Viola Davis? Y'all know. How to Get Away with Murder. So I think I might start with Scandal, though. And because like I said, I do like her writing. But yeah, guys, that's it when it comes to my books, music, and movies that I listened to in the month of May. Again, Bridgerton took over my whole month, but I did reach half of my goals, so I was happy about that. But we just go slide the other book to next month. Again, it's not that serious, but yeah, guys, that's all I have for you, and I'll be back with more Black books. Bye.